I love that our technology brings us closer and allows us to connect. Hey guys, Jared Jarvis here. I'm here with Ronee Brumma and Leanne Mason. Our question for today, do you know the difference between real and artificial? And we see that show up in lots of places in the world all around us. So we wanted to talk about this a little bit today because it's just something that's interesting. And we're seeing a big way that this shows up in our bodies, in our lives, in our communication. I heard the other day that somebody thought they were talking with a real person and it ended up being an AI the whole time. And they obviously weren't getting the kind of feedback that they would get from another person. So you never know. Let's talk about real versus artificial.
Do we
Oh
want to
my
use the word
gosh.
real or the word natural?
Let's talk now. Well, natural.
Because I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, everything could be real, but is it natural?
So, the only reason I say that is we had a real Christmas tree because our kids always said, we want a real Christmas tree. And I was like, this is a real Christmas tree, not a natural Christmas tree. A natural Christmas tree is what grows in the forest and it should stay in the forest. But our real Christmas tree was really designed and made specifically for Christmas. And that's how we got away with that. Right. But it was artificial. So
So
sometimes
true. Wording
words are
matter.
really important. A lot of times you'll get natural flavorings, but you got to be careful with that too, because the
Oh, okay. The
flavoring.
best one, share the story about vanilla because it's natural flavoring.
Jared, do you want to share that one?
Sure. So, guys, vanilla is not necessarily
Vanilla extract.
always from a plant.
Vanilla.
There is a artificial, well, not artificial, but a different vanilla scent that can come from the glands of a beaver and a muskrat. I don't want my vanilla coming from a gland. That's
Especially
all I'm
because it's
gonna
a
say.
backside gland.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
So
imagine? Those farts must smell great though.
one of the reasons we were talking about this originally was studies about artificial light. And we're getting ready to go back to school. And in some places, there's less and less natural lighting. They're cutting back on how much time the kids are outside. And it's affecting creativity and learning. So that's kind of one of the things that sparked it. Ronee is now, you're going to have to talk so they can see it
Sorry, I'm sharing my vanilla Madagascar vanilla, which is actually from a vanilla bean.
from a natural
Because
vanilla bean
I'm just
source.
cracking myself up here today because that is a natural reaction.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And sometimes laughing is a natural reaction. We
Oh,
previously were talking about natural reactions when we are praying. Life does not
laughter.
have to be serious, you guys.
Laughter
Laughter
is
is
so
good for
good.
the soul.
And thank you, Leanne, for keeping us on track because I'm sorry. I just kind of lost it there. My 14-year-old boy brain just went,
Yeah, we've
okay.
got the giggles today.
But you're right. Natural lighting versus artificial lighting. The more natural your lighting can be, and even with artificial lighting, we've tried to switch it over to more of the natural daylight lights versus the yellow incandescent lights.
Or
Um,
even the bright white. The bright white is as well. And we're seeing part of the reason we're talking about lighting too. Our kids are doing more and more of their education on screens, tablets, computers, and getting them blue blocker glasses can help support some of that as well. I don't know, Rone's now searching for hers
They have my blue
because
blockers.
it's important. So, what's also important is putting natural from the source food into our bodies, supplements into our bodies. I also just saw a study, and I don't remember, Ronay, if you shared it with me or one of my other clients about putting supplements in under heat.
Oh,
They
yes.
were melting, which means they were synthetic.
Yeah, I sent you that one. It had all sorts of that might be a reel actually to share here if you can grab that and drop it. It had all sorts of things that show you real versus synthetic baby food. If you put it in a bag and then take a magnet and you can run the magnet along it and you'll get a collection of heavy metals, which is ridiculous. Or um the difference between real salt and fake salt, like additives being added to our things. So there are so many things that, unfortunately, as they are processed and as those processing plants want to make more money, they add fillers, they add fake things. So the more that you can do growing your own or making sure you're getting it from a local, um, oh, I think the worst one was meat that's been glued together. People think that that's like fat or it's something else. No, it's actual a glue that glues the meat together. So again, work with your local farmers and try to buy locally as much as possible so that you're getting really good, healthy food. The more you can get back to the basics, to real, natural, actual,
Authentic.
what?
Authentic.
Authentic. That's a really good word too.
Yeah. So
Authentic.
we want to go back to labeling, right? Labeling is key when it comes to this. And when it comes to doTERRA, I love that their labels are clear and concise. And I was trying to find one. They will say supplemental facts on them if they can be used internally.
Yep.
And doTERRA does source to you. And Ronay, talk about that.
So on the bottom here, there's a number. There's also an expiration date, which is required by the FDA. But on the bottom here, there's a number, and if you put that number in at sourcetoyou.com, you can see where this oil was sourced, and you can also see the testing process that it went through. And I love that I can look all those different things up. Now, it doesn't work for our bottles with blends, and the reason for that is you'd have to go to each individual um, oil that is in that blend. And so a lot of people ask us why that is, and it's very, very complicated. But you can, if you want to, look up the individual oils in that blend. You can find one of the um,
Reports.
reports. Yeah. doTERRA keeps a very small variance that is allowed in their oils, and if it doesn't meet that variance, it isn't sold. It's not put into the blends, it's not used at all.
Yeah.
So we're not doctors. We can't diagnose and treat, but we can bring you the stuff that we are continually learning and educating ourselves on so we can support our families naturally. The more natural, the better for our bodies to be able to function at optimal levels. It's flavoring your waters with actual fruit. Now, when it comes to that, you can get 100% natural juice, but if you look on it, sugar is the main ingredient, not the fruit. So again, goes back to reading labels and understanding. What are you choosing to fuel your body with? And as we take and send our kids back to school, consider fueling their bodies with the proper nutrients to help them learn better. I'm super excited for class this week. We're going to be talking about back to school basics. So I'm going to drop the link for our Eventbrite so you can register for all of our classes. If you want the free link, reach out to one of us. Jared and Rone, any other final thoughts on natural versus artificial?
Not natural versus artificial, but I want to drop a little teaser for class tomorrow because one of the things that my kids complained about when we started using essential oils for our immune support is we don't get sick days anymore. So if you don't want to have all those sick days that happen, make sure you come to class tomorrow.
I love that segue. So true. I'm just going to show a few of our favorites. The On Guard sanitizing wipes, On Guard sanitizing spray. They do have a sanitizing gel. My kiddos prefer the spray. And I love the On Guard roller to put on the bottom of feet.
We'll also have some DIY stuff, so don't think it's all just one thing or the other. We have some fun stuff happening tomorrow. Jared, do you have any final?
I love that not only are we supporting our kiddos as they're getting ready to go back to school. My son started yesterday. I know was, school schedules are shifting and kids seem to be going back to school earlier and earlier. And it's important that we're supporting them, but education's for everybody. So it's not just our kids, it's for us, absolutely. And I notice that when I'm not learning, I'm also not growing. I'm not feeling fulfilled. And so come join us, come learn with us. We're learning always too, and we're always happy to share the things that we're learning.
I totally love that. Continual learning is key. I am in school, and this was what I used today because I was struggling with my paper. So rolled some adaptive on, and I was able to focus. So more tips and tricks to come if you join us at class tomorrow.
Bye bye.